What's that sound? It's for amusement only, the EM and Bingo Pinball Podcast. So I'm here with Bingo Butch, the king of bingos. He's a big collector of Bally and United games. In fact, he's got every Bally, correct?
Yep.
And just about every United.
Just about.
Except they're really impossible to find a couple of them. So, Butch, I wanted to know, you operated these machines, you've owned them for a long time, and you were around playing them when they were new. So,
yes, sir.
Tell me
a lot of them I played brand new.
Tell me a little bit about how you got started. How did you find out about the machines?
Well, when I was growing up, they had these machines in what the kids call slop shops, but the right name on the store was called sweet shops, and the kids played them all. It was like the boys played the bingos, okay? They didn't play the flippers much. This is the truth, for every one place in Pottsville that had flipper pinballs, there was like 5 places that had bingos, which is, the God's honest truth. And, well, all my friends and that, they had little jobs like I had, carried newspapers, worked on a garbage truck, and all the money that we made, or most of it, we stuck in the machines playing them. I had many an hour of fun playing these, and I lost many a nickel too, and I wasn't the only one.
So, when you were that age, when you were a paper boy working on garbage trucks, how old were you?
I was 14, 15, 16, like that.
Wow. So you were in school.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And you were working these jobs, multiple jobs.
Yes.
Spending money, and you put them in the games. Now, would you play until you won a certain amount, or until you were out of money, or
No.
obviously?
Yeah, most of the time we played till we went broke. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, once in a blue moon, we'd win, of course.
Sure.
You have to win sometime.
Otherwise, you wouldn't come back.
Right. And, when we collected $5, a 5 in line, we collected $5. That was big money. Now, don't forget, you're talking, to me, you're talking 1953, 54, 55. Okay, and $5, that was a lot of money to a kid. I guess it's like 10 or 12 today, And when we hit the big one, a 5 in line, I remember this. We always had to buy, before we got the $5, we always had to buy all of our friends a Pepsi, which was 10 cents at that time.
Okay.
You got a 12-ounce Pepsi in the bottle for 10 cents. And then, if we hit something like big, say we hit the corners, that's $200.
Sure.
That's $10.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's $315. Then, we'd still buy each of our buddies, say there was 7 or 8 of them, and we'd buy them a Pepsi, and then, you'd buy, if you were a fairly good spender, like I was, easy come, easy go, I'd buy, 4 or 5 tasty cake cupcakes, chocolate cupcakes. We always bought that. And then we opened them up, and then the kids ate them when they drink their Pepsi.
Yeah.
And we'd celebrate me hitting the big one.
Oh, yeah.
The $10, for the corners. that's how we did it. And I wasn't the only one, of course.
Sure.
When my friends hit too big, then we did it, and you'd hear like when you hit it, it's usually a place where you have 3 or 4 machines.
Right.
And then the machines would be racking up, da-dun, 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 and then everybody would be hollering, "So there's Butch won," and that's how we did it. And everybody was the same. Mm-hmm. Somebody else hit the 5 or 10, they'd buy 2. And we just lived happily ever after.
So was that a code that you all had worked out?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it that the shop owner made you do that?
Oh no,
before they
no,
paid? Oh,
no.
wow.
The store owner didn't make you do anything.
That was just a camaraderie thing.
Yeah, that's
what
it was. And then, like when we got to be about, like around 16, then we had a clubhouse,
mm-hmm.
and we rented this big clubhouse. It was like just a big building, like a warehouse. In other words, you could fit 4 or 5 cars in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of the guys in my gang put so much money, I don't know, that we gave like $5 a month or something, and that took care of the rent, and that took care of the light bill.
Okay.
That's all we had there. Okay? And then, like the kids, we played cards, and we did, in the one corner, we even played basketball a little, in the one corner of the place. And then we thought of, let's get an operator to put some machines in.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to go to the stores and that. So we had an operator do that. And we were living happily ever after, And then we got robbed. Somebody broke in to our big, like you could say it was a 4-car garage,
Mm-hmm.
It was big like that. And somebody broke in, and they broke the machines up to hell. And, of course, the operator took them out, wouldn't put them in anymore. And, of course, he told other operators. So we couldn't get any put in. Okay? So I remember I was a sophomore. I was 17 then, or almost 17.
Uh-huh.
And then my uncle bought me a yacht club, mm-hmm. which I had in my bedroom at home. My mom left me do that, of course. And then I thought, well, I'm going to, since we can't get an operator to put any bingos in, and we liked them and that, I'm going to put my yacht club in. Mm-hmm. I was a little reluctant in the beginning because I was afraid of it getting busted open too.
Right.
Like the 3 bingos we had in there. And my friends, my guys in the gang, they talked me into it. So I put it in. And understand I was working little half-ass jobs, working on a garbage truck, and I was delivering newspapers and stuff, and going to school, of course.
Right.
And then the money that I made with my yacht club, I never really spent. I was like saving up a little.
Uh-huh.
And then I thought, geez, I always liked Miami Beach a lot, So I saved up, and I don't know what it cost me then. That's too long ago. But I got an operator talk to people in Philadelphia for me mm-hmm. at Banner Specialties,
okay.
and told them that I was a operator, half-ass now, and so that they'd send me, that they would sell me a machine that they would sell the same price to an operator. Now, if you went down there and you bought it and, you tell them you're buying it for your house, of course you're going to pay a lot more.
Right.
But I went down, and I don't remember the price, but I bought it at an operator's price. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm saying used. By no means. These were not brand new.
Okay.
They're used. And then I put it in our place, and, we had 3 in before, now we have 2. So the money I saved up with them 2, I bought a third one. And it just went on like that.
Spiraled out of control, huh?
Yeah, it snowballed. And then a friend of mine drove stock car and at Shanetown Speedway. And he opened up a speakeasy. Mm-hmm. And the number car he drove was 69. And he called his speakeasy Club 69. And I was a good friend of his, and he knew I had machines. Mm-hmm. And, at that time, I'm talking way back, the couple operators that were around, they'd put the machines in right away, but then when they broke, you had to kiss them to come and fix them.
Right.
So what happened then was, then the guys in the store, the bar, they didn't make money like they should because their machines were broke half the time.
Right.
But when it was the day that you emptied the machines, of course the operators were there that day.
Right.
See? So my buddy knew this, and he said to me, would I like to put machines in? And I thought, well, geez, I'm no operator in that. He said, well, look, just put a pool table in for me. Mm-hmm. No, I'm sorry, a shuffleboard. So, I went down, and I guess you could say I talked some sense into the people down at Banner Specialties, and I got a shuffleboard on credit, you could say, and I made payments. Now, I was 17 and a half then, but I left the people think I had 15 or 20 machines out when I only had 3.
Right.
Okay? So the money I made with the 3 and the money I made with the shuffleboard, I paid the shuffleboard off. And then my buddy, he wanted a jukebox. People kept hollering for a jukebox. What barroom today doesn't have a jukebox?
Right.
So then I had to buy a jukebox. And the thing just snowballed for me. That's the God's honest truth. I wasn't planning on being no operator. And, before you knew it, and like I said, I had jobs where I was making my spending money. And all the money I made with the machines, I just kept buying another one and another one. And that's what happened. That's the story of my life there.
So in between all this, the rest of your life is going on. You've got other jobs, right? You're still working those?
I still have a normal paying job that a family man has to have.
Right. Well, you're still at the end of high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a normal job. You got the route now.
Yeah.
And you could call it a route, right? You got four machines.
Yeah. Yes, you could say that, I guess. Yeah.
And
then I got rid of. Was getting too old. I stopped carrying newspapers, and I stopped. Not that I'm too good to, but I stopped working on a garbage truck, and then I got a job in a factory.
Okay. And what was the factory?
It was a knitting mill. We made men's underwear and T-shirts.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is that the textile mill that I think Mike showed me earlier in town?
Oh, no, I worked in Augsburg.
Oh, okay.
And glass tex knitting mills.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked there 6 years. I met my wife there.
Okay.
She started working there years after I was there. And she got to be my girlfriend. And what happened was, this is God's honest truth. I was there, I think, 4 years till my wife started working there. And that's where I met her. And then I worked downstairs in the factory. And I was shipping clerk and the packer. And I had the floor lady was under me, like she had to. I told her what orders to get together, and then she had like 12 or 15 girls under her. Mm-hmm. Now I certainly wasn't no boss. I mean, I didn't boss anybody around, but I had to tell her what to do, so she knew what orders had to go out and stuff.
Sure.
Okay? So what got me mad, really, here's another thing, funny thing.
All right.
Okay? Now, I'm there 4 years before my wife. Mm-hmm. And I'm working there, and I'm downstairs. Now, my wife's working upstairs with about 60 ladies. Okay? With their sewing machines, like. And this is the truth. After I started, going out with my wife, and we got hooked up and that, then I asked her how much she was making an hour. Uh-huh. And my wife, this is God's honest truth again. There I go, and it's true. She's making $0.25 an hour more than me. And you could say, if you want to, you could say, I was running the whole downstairs. And all she was doing was on a machine. But she was on piece rate, and she was a fast worker, uh-huh. And she was a hustler, And so I got, I was really insulted, And then we decided we're going to get married. And then I figured, well, that's it now. I can't have my wife working at the same place I'm working, and she's making $0.25 an hour more than me. Now, the man of the house is supposed to make more than the wife, So then, friends of mine that was in my gang, I call it my gang because I was like a year or two older than half of the guys, okay? And then I thought, well, I gotta get another job and make more money, even though I liked it where I was, mm-hmm. And I liked my job and the people I worked for. They're very nice. And finally, some of the guys from my gang, they started working at Bethlehem Steel. Mm-hmm. Okay, which is the equivalent of 60 miles from home. Okay. And traveling back and forth and that. So I thought, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And I put in for it, and of course I got the job. And I started working there, making 2.5 times of what I was making at the factory. And then I started getting, I started in May, and then in July 4th, I got a paid holiday. I didn't know how to act. I'm telling you, because we didn't get that at our place, at the factory. We got 1 week's vacation a year. If you were there 1 year or 30 years. You got 1 week's vacation, and that was the week of the 4th of July, So here I am. I thought I was really big shot then, mm-hmm. Getting paid and not working. I'm not used to that, not right. Me.
Yeah.
But I don't know, how the hell did I get into that with
I
you?
was asking you about your work history, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is
Well,
all
that's
connected.
that's enough. My God, you don't want to hear any more.
Sure.
Jeez.
So, all right, you're working these jobs. You're married,
Yeah, I'm married.
and you've got a route. Do you still have a route?
Yes, I have machines out.
And is it expanded?
Yeah, I'm getting a wee bit bigger. Now, you have to understand, I didn't advertise it all.
Sure.
And I didn't have my names on the machines like other operators did. You know, 'cause I'm a little half-ass guy. You know, just trying to get along in a dog-eat-dog world.
Sure. It's a side business.
And then as time went on, I couldn't tell you when, I'd be lying. My accountant said to me, he says, Butch, you have too many machines out now not to claim any income tax. Now, I should keep this low, right? I was claiming income tax from my job at the steel, okay? And then I was also, when I got time, part-time, I was driving Pottsville cab then too.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And I'm claiming all my taxes with Pottsville cab. Mm-hmm. And with my regular job, my God, to me that was enough income tax I'm paying, right? And then my accountant, the truth again, like I say, right hand up, he scared me. He says, Butch, if they ever catch you, he said, they're going to throw the key away.
Yeah.
That's what he told me. So then I started advertising that I'm an operator. Mm-hmm. And I figure if I'm going to advertise I'm an operator, I'm going to do what the big guys do. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put my name on my machines. And I did that, you know, Glauda's Amusements. Mm-hmm. Okay? And then I figure, what the hell, it's no matter where I go, it's like a billboard. I'll get my truck lettered.
Yeah.
So then, you know, at that time I had, I think, 2 trucks. And so I got them both lettered and that. And, of course, I started paying more taxes, you know. And so that's how it turned out for me.
So that's when it became a business for you.
Yeah.
So,
and that's when it says that I'm, then I had to get a number in Harrisburg, like the Dutch say. I had to get registered in Harrisburg as an amusement operator. You know, I don't remember what the number is.
You get your business license, right?
Yeah, I got that on the wall at the house somewhere.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you that number if you paid me. You know, but I got registered there. I had to, and that. And I live happily ever after. Work all the time, you know, change stuff. And to be honest with you, I never really thought about, at one time, owning every Bally bingo ever made. I never thought of that. And then as I got bigger, a little bigger, you could say, nothing like the big guys now, you know, don't get excited. But as I got a little bigger, I thought, well, you know, like I always wanted a big time, too, because I had a lot of fun playing that with the magic lines. And, you know, then I bought a big time, and, well, if you have that, you got to have the other magic lines, you know, variety, and that. And then I got that, and it just kept going.
Yeah.
You know, that's honest. And before you knew it, somebody, I don't know when or where or what year, said to me, what are you trying to do? Own every one they made, you know. Uh-huh. And then I thought to myself, hell, why not? You know, as if I could afford to keep buying them, and not, now get this, and not touching my regular pays.
Right.
Because when you're married, your wife takes the pays. At least mine did. I longed to, keep her quiet. Go ahead. This is my pay from my big job. This is my pay from my part-time job, the cab driving and that. And
but the amusement she kept separate.
Yeah, and then with the machine money, my wife never said anything about that, asking me, and I certainly wasn't going to tell her, And then I just kept buying machines. And then first thing you know, I had my house filled up, okay, and I couldn't fit any more in. And then we built my small warehouse up here, which I didn't take you there yet. That's a room now that is swampy. I built that. That's I'd say if you had to, you could put 2.5 cars in it. That was my first warehouse.
Okay.
I built that, and then, in years to come, that went full too, not counting what I had outside on the road. So then this one here that we're sitting in, this was Empire Glass Warehouse.
Oh, okay.
And Empire Glass was the biggest glass company in Pottsville, of course. For years and years and years they were here. And they got too big that this got too small.
Okay.
And it's right here by my house and my houses that I own here and my small warehouse. So I grabbed this right away, even before they put for sale on it, because I was good friends with the man, I can't think of his name, that owned the Empire Glass, and he bought great big warehouse up on Hotel Street, 4 times this size.
Right.
And so I bought this off him, and honest to God, there wasn't even a for sale sign on it. Right. Nobody knew he was going to sell it even. And before I bought it, here's another thing, God's honest truth. Before I bought this, he even let me, as he was moving stuff out, let me move stuff in. And I painted this all white, the whole building around and inside. And he left me bring machines in as he was taking the things to cut glass and big plate glass windows for stores. As they were taking them out, the one big door here, I was bringing pinball machines in the other one because I needed this bad.
Yeah.
And he needed a bigger warehouse bad. And it's funny when you think of this.
Yeah.
And it all turned out nice.
Yeah.
We all lived happily ever after.
Right.
And that's the story there.
All right. So, where did you learn to work on the machines?
Well, it was hit and miss, you could say.
Okay.
Nobody really taught me because no operator would teach me.
Right.
When I first had them, okay, and they broke, I had some Uniteds. I had Tropics and a couple other ones, Cabana, and Bally, of course, mostly Bally. And when they broke, I knew a couple of guys, one man named Bill, I don't know last names, I can't keep track of that. I'm lucky I remember first. And he worked for Malarkey's Vending. Okay. And I asked him to come and fix it, and he was a friend of mine. And he wouldn't even do it. He says, if Malarkey's find out I'm coming to your place, I said, look, the machine's broke, it's at this location, I'll take it out. I'll bring it home to my house. Right. And you come to my house and fix it. Okay. And then I'll take it back to where it belongs. And he wouldn't do it. He says, no, what if they find out I fixed yours on the side? I'm done.
Right.
And this is his regular job.
Right.
So a man isn't going to compromise, take a chance on losing his bread and butter.
Sure.
So I could see that. And then I asked another man, and he didn't want to do it, but he didn't work for anybody. He worked for himself. Mm-hmm. He had his own route, but he was a hell of a nice man. Jim Harley, and his cousin Jack Harley had a route too. Mm-hmm. They were like bucking heads, and Jim came. He came 2 or 3 times to me, mm-hmm. and he showed me something. And to be honest with you, the rest of it, like say a 15-minute job took me an hour and a half, mm-hmm. but I got it.
Right.
And that's how it started with me, mm-hmm. okay, in fixing them. Hell. And then, one thing just snowballed something else. And my son Mike, my oldest son, he was getting bigger. Mike was about 13, 14 mm-hmm. when he started going along with me on my little half-ass route, Mm-hmm. And I showed him what I knew. And now Mike, and I swear to God, I don't mean this to brag. I am not bragging. My Mike picked up 4 times of what I did. He's a lot smarter than me. And I always said this, traveling around the United States, and all the guys I met and fixing stuff, fixing the bingos, he's another Jeffrey Lawton. He is. There ain't nobody smarter than Jeffrey Lawton and my son Mike in fixing the bingo pinballs. I won't say gambling, okay? The bingo pinballs. And I'll say this, if I knew that 10 minutes from now I'm going to be dead. Now, I'm not counting you, because you're way past them. Like, you're in another century making all of them into like one machine. So I can't count you at all. But as far as being a normal, average bingo repairman, okay, take it from me. I met many in my life, and, I'm 77, so I know a little bit, okay, about them.
Right.
And I never met anybody smarter than Jeff and my son Mike. And so my opinion is, if anybody had anything broke and they ever got Mike or Jeff mm-hmm. to fix it, if they can't fix it, junk it.
Yeah, it's unfixable.
Because nobody's going to fix it. And that has nothing to do with you,
No.
You're above that yet.
No.
In my eyes, you are.
Well,
okay?
Thank you.
I wish I was that much smart as you, But I'm just a poor soul trying to get along,
Well,
Average guy.
As are we all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I mean that too, Nick.
Thank you very much. So, let me ask you a bit about your playing days. So before you had the yacht club.
Yeah.
When you had the group of guys.
Yeah.
You're all playing together. What was your favorite machine during that time?
Yeah. I'd say my favorite machine is Hi-Fi
mm-hmm.
and Miami Beach. Because I like that on Miami Beach. I like that green 3 in a line scores 5 in a line.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And if you get number 1,
yeah, and
on most bingos you play, number 1 and number 7 is like 13 and 8. Real easy.
Yeah, all the ones on the
edges. And a lot of the Miami Beaches I played, you just pull a plunger back and you shoot it and you let it go. and they go boom right in the 1.
Yep.
So you have to have the select the number lit too.
Right.
When you have green 3 scores 5.
Yep.
See?
So
And then when you get number 1,
19.
then you got 5, 12, 5, 12, 13, and 24. It's a 5 in line. 4 numbers you have with 4 balls. To get any one of them 4 is a 5 in line. And to me, that's super.
So he just rattled off those numbers, and you can't see this because this is a recording, but he did that all from memory. So I know you played that game a lot.
Oh, yeah. Played that game a lot. I guess I did. I wish I had $1 every time I played it. I'll tell you, I could buy some more bingos.
There you go. So Hi-Fi, what appeals to you about that game?
Well, Hi-Fi is the same thing as Beach Club.
Mm-hmm.
It's exact same, only it has the bumpers.
Right.
See? Now, a lot of my friends, I gotta admit, didn't like Hi-Fi because they could never figure out the bumpers like to use. Now, whoever saw a bingo machine with flipper buttons on the side? See?
Yeah.
This is kind of unbelievable. But see, you have to know just when to, and this takes years of practice of playing these pinballs to get it down pat, when to hit them bumpers, them flippers to make the bump work,
right,
to bump the ball, okay? I remember one time I had the ball coming down. This is the truth, another story. Coming down between the 4 and the 5.
Yeah.
It's coming down here, and I needed the 4.
Okay.
And I timed it perfect. It came down here, and I boom, 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 boom. I bumped it. I used 3 or 4 bumps, and I bumped the ball up here like on top of the 11.
Right.
And then I bumped it some more, and it went right into the 4.
No kidding.
That was one that I brag about with a Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
And another time, I needed the 25 on the first super card.
Okay.
And the ball coming down here.
Yeah.
And it's, going like this here at the 23.
Yep.
And I had about 6 or 7 bumps.
Okay.
Right? And just as it's coming down, it hit that spring there. Real quick, I just used them all.
Yeah.
Bump, 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 like that. And the ball went boom, into the 23.
Yeah.
Into the 24. And honest to God, over into the 25.
No kidding.
Because I had the super card. I had the 3 and the 24 lit. See, and I needed 25.
Wow.
Yeah, it just like bumped out of the 23. Yeah, the ball was in the 24 because I hit it that way. It bumped the ball in the 24. It didn't fall in it. It bumped it, and then it went over into the 25.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
That's nice. That's nice.
Now, did you ever exploit... I know that when you use the bump feature, it disables the tilt for a couple seconds.
Oh, yeah, it won't tilt.
Right.
It don't tilt, no.
And did you ever use that to your advantage?
Well, no, I can't say I did. I just, look, this, of course, didn't happen overnight.
Right, yeah.
You had to play the machine a lot.
Yep.
And like I said, a lot of my buddies, they like Beach Club better just for the simple reason that it didn't have the bumps. Because they couldn't figure the bumps out.
Right.
And then when you got the bumps, if you don't use them,
you lose them.
You're a nerd.
Yeah.
That's how it was when I was growing up. How could you be so dumb? You have a feature lit and you don't use it.
Don't use it, yeah.
That's because, and I'll say this if I know I'm dying 10 minutes from now, that's because they didn't have it down pat.
Yeah.
See? But you had to play it a lot.
Right.
Then you know just when to use the bumps
Right.
to your advantage, of course.
Yeah. Always.
And,
every time.
You know, but that always was my favorite. I'd say hi-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Miami Beach was my second favorite. And probably Surf Club is my third favorite.
That's a good game.
Yeah, double hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did you make your money? Which was your biggest one that you made the money on?
I'd say out on the road, Magic Squares did real good. Mm-hmm. You know, like Parade,
as an operator.
Broadway nightclub.
As an operator, right?
Yeah, as an operator, I'd say if I had to boil it down, mm-hmm. Really, I would say what my buddy, God bless him, he got killed, car accident 2 years ago, retired.
Sorry to hear that.
Mickey Coffee,
mm-hmm.
owned coffee vending from Nanticoke. He's, no doubt about it, he was one of the 4 biggest operators in the state of Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mickey was. And I asked him that question already, okay? Like, I'm that big, I wouldn't make a pimple on that guy's hindsy.
Right.
That's how big he was.
Yeah.
And you couldn't find a nicer man than him. He owned, like, meat packing places that went out of business mm-hmm. with machines in. Mm-hmm. Acme Markets. He bought one of them with machines in. Not counting a number, I couldn't tell you the number of garages he owned. And then he had his main one where the men that fixed his machines out on the road, when they couldn't fix them, and they brought him into the main shop mm-hmm. where Joey worked. Another smart cookie. Wow. And he'd fix it then if his men on the road couldn't fix it. And, of course, they could fix, 80% of it. But when it was really bad, now I'm talking about bingos here.
Right.
When it was really bad, and they brought it in, they couldn't figure it out, okay? Then Joey would do it, and that. I'm sorry, I got away from your question.
You were saying
so
squares,
I'm going to,
right?
Magic Squares, very good. But I'm going to say, if I had to bet my life on it, I would say what Mickey told me.
Okay.
His best ones, and like I said, I wouldn't make a pimple on his rear end.
Sure.
How big he was. His best ones, I asked him that. His best ones that he ever made money, and he owned every one ever made, too. Mm-hmm. Every Bally bingo, and United, too.
Really?
And he said his best ones he ever had in making money was the Miss Americas. There's about 5 or 6 of them. Mm-hmm. I have them all, of course.
Well, yeah. That goes without saying.
Yeah. He said that was his best money maker of all of them, mm-hmm. the Miss Americas. Because you could take numbers off the first card and put them on the second when they're already on the second.
Right.
And then he said, and I'd have to agree with him too, that the Magic Squares was his second biggest money maker.
Interesting.
The Magic Squares.
Because those, Bally, once they started making magic screens, no more magic squares. So,
yeah.
And
me personally, with the magic screen, I mean, everybody's different,
sure.
Okay? But me personally, with the magic screens, I didn't care for them too much because you had the colors, like the numbers weren't lined up like bingo with the way I started when I was little bitty.
Sure.
12, 13 playing them, and I personally didn't care for them too good. But I have them, of course, and I had them all out and that. And another thing I want to throw in, talking about making money and stuff like that. Some places where we put the one-carded bingos in, okay? After we had them in a week or two, like the man that owns a bar or the store, this happened a few times in my day. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it happened a lot in the with the big operators.
Sure.
You know, with them. They'd say to me, "Oh, Butch, it's too complicated." The people say they can't play it. You know. So I look at them and I say, this truth again, my right hand up to the Lord. I say to them, look, just say to your customers, can you read? You know, and they'll laugh, you know, like you there and that. I never met anybody that couldn't read, right?
Right.
And I say to them, can you read? They say, well, sure, you know, I can read. Well, when that block light's lit panel below indicates you own the magic lines. Well, it tells you have magic lines.
Right.
Yeah. What's so hard about that? And, you know, like with like gay time, red 3 in a line scores 4 in a line.
Yeah.
What's so hard about that? Well, they say it's too complicated in that, right? So what we did then, there's another thing, truth. Now, we didn't do this to every place, but quite a few places, when they said that to us, we just took the one-carded out, and we put a 6-carded in.
There you go.
So then, no matter how dumb the people were playing it, they didn't have to ask no questions. You know, there it is. 6 bingo cards, like when you go to bingo, which I was never at a bingo place in my life, but people think I was, you know. But anyhow, it's simple. Just line the numbers up. You know, you don't have to do that hard stuff of reading and then knowing what odds you have lit, and that just by looking at the back glass. You know, so places that the customers were too dumb to play them, we put the 6 cards. See? And I lived happily ever after.
So did you notice an immediate increase in the take?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Now, we weren't making a fortune,
Sure.
but I was making some money.
That's good.
You know.
All right, so that's where you made your money as an operator. But as a player, which of those games, you had Miami Beach, Hi-Fi, those were your favorite games to play?
Yeah, and Surf Club.
And Surf Club.
They're my 3 favorites.
And which one did you make the most money playing?
I'd say out of them 3, I'd say Miami Beach.
Yeah.
You know, I love that 3 in line,
so
green
powerful.
scores 5 in line, but then you have to have
the curtains.
You have to have the curtains open.
Yep.
And, you know, there's another thing, too, when you talk about them. Mm-hmm. All my friends and everybody I ever knew that played these growing up call them magic curtains.
Yeah.
Now, why did Bally still call them magic lines? They call them magic lines.
Yeah.
They didn't call them magic curtains.
They didn't?
No. But when it opens up, it's like a curtain.
Right.
So you'd think it would be called magic curtains.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder.
You didn't notice that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
It's magic lines, they call it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow. I got to read. See,
yeah.
That goes back to it. I got to look at the backlash.
Yeah. Sure. You know, do you just ask the people, do you know how to read? I never met anybody that didn't know how.
So, when you were a kid, you told me a funny story. You mind telling that again? About that game with in the slop shop.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was called John's Sweet Shop. That's what it was called. And it was across the street from my house. Now, that was back in the 50s. That was back when Hector was a pup. Anyhow, my buddy Zane Sullivan, Dave Underwood, and me, the three of us was what we call in together. Mm-hmm. We each put like 10 nickels up, and we went in together on a yacht club. Mm-hmm. And we were playing it, excuse me, we were playing it a good half hour, and it was normal. Everything working nice. And then, honest, this is hard to believe, but like I said, I couldn't make this up because I couldn't think of it, okay? And then all of a sudden, it started giving us 8 balls. So, of course, we kept our mouth shut, and we had to watch for John, because John would walk by the machines every once in a while to make sure we were playing F&S, what he always said, fair and square. That's what he used to say, okay? So we're playing it, and here my buddy Zane, he was going for the 11 in the center. That was a center number, bottom card. The bottom row, the center number was 11. Mm-hmm. And he was going for that, for 5 in the line. Mm-hmm. And like I told you, the ball's coming down here. It's coming down here. Now, you can bounce it maybe this way or this way, Who knows how it would have went, to be honest with you.
Right.
I'm not saying it was going to go in 11, but it was getting close to it.
It wasn't going to go in 11.
Right. It was getting close to number 11.
Uh-huh.
And the ball's coming down here, and here comes John around the corner, just going to walk by us. And my buddy Dave Underwood kicks the leg here by the 23. He, not hard, not real hard. That's what's amazing, too. He just kicked it enough like that so it would tilt. Because the tilt's here. We all know that. Born and raised with him, right? And he just did that, and the game tilted. And John walked by, and he just glanced at the machine. Zane was on his 7th ball. And thank God John didn't look at the play field to see how many balls are here. And he just walked by, and this was tilted, so he didn't bother looking at nothing. Just kept walking by. And then Dave goes to play the next game. It was his turn. And 8 balls didn't come up no more. It was just 5 balls. Needless to say, Zane and me were mad at Dave for about 20 minutes or so. But then we got over it. But I don't know if we would have got the 11 or not. But that's a true story. And like I said, I couldn't think of it to make it up. It's a true story. And that was a yacht club. And I'll never forget that. John's Sweet Shop, it was called, the place.
So how long after that did you own your yacht club?
Oh, I'd say about a year after that.
Wow.
My Uncle Mike bought me a yacht club, And I had it in my bedroom, like I said, for a long while. And then I put it in our clubhouse, like I told you, And then things just snowballed from there.
So, Butch, you're one of I would say, probably the top collector of United games?
Well, I know, like I'll say, my buddy, again, Ron Coover, he collects them, yes, but I think he would tell you, we have more than him. we're trying to get them all now,
Right.
which I never did before, but I'm going out on a limb.
Yep.
You know, we're trying to get them all, and I think my mic says, see, I'm getting too old now and forgetful, mostly, but I think my mic says we have 3 more we have to get. And when I head out west again, this year, in fact, in a couple of weeks, I head out west again, I'm going to be picking 2 more of them up. So there's only going to be 1 that we don't have, and I can't remember the name. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But my mic will tell you.
Yeah.
See, now I like United too.
Yeah.
My Mike loves the United like I love the Bally. But when I was growing up in that, a few of my buddies, my gang, they didn't like the United ones because, like, the ball can come all the way down here. They didn't like that. They liked it that you can keep the ball where the numbers are.
Right.
See, and don't come all the way down like this.
On what he's saying is that on the second row, on the United games, especially the early ones, there's a gap there.
Yeah.
And the ball can come down just like it can on the third row on the Bally design.
Yeah.
And so you can drop that ball all the way down to 25 from 13 or 8.
Yeah. Yeah, you could bypass them.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the nicest thing, see, United always copied off of Bally. Everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. But what surprised the hell out of me is Bally never copied anything off of United. Mm-hmm. Now, the biggest thing, in my opinion, that United has that Bally never had is light a name.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
And you spell the name, it's a 5 in line.
Yep.
Now,
it's a carryover feature.
Yeah. Now, a lot of the United ones, of course, you have the regular spot that you roll over.
Yeah.
But you also have, like, what we call another home. This is home when you bring the ball home.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of having a rollover spot, a lot of them have a hole here and a hole here where the spot would be.
Right.
And the ball goes down there, and then it hits the thing, you know, and then you light that number or the letter, whatever lit. Right. You could light numbers or you could light letters, you know, whatever it is. And like, for instance, Mexico.
Right.
Over here, it has MEXICO.
Right.
Like that, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to have the MEXIC lit, and then you have to get that lit by feeding it, and then you have to get the ball down that hole, like where the Mexico, then you spell Mexico, and it's a 5 in line. Right. You know, I love the ones for that. And another thing, I was surprised that that was the biggest surprise to me, that if Bally goes, and of course they knew that United is copying off them like crazy.
Oh, sure.
Why don't Bally copy off of United? But they didn't. See? So this light a name, to me, was the best feature. Mm-hmm. And the second feature on United that I think Bally should have copied was the 8 balls next game.
Yeah.
See? Where now number 24, like we used to say when we were growing up, like how easy that is.
Yeah.
24, 13, 8,
you know. Those are ones you can get
the
with your
easiest
eyes closed.
number. Yeah, we used to say, this is the truth. We used to say when we were growing up, a blind man can get 24.
There you go, yeah.
You know, that's what we used to say.
Yeah.
Okay? Anyhow, on the United games, the block of light,
Yeah.
you know, and then the 24 a light. You got to get 24 to advance your arrow. And then when you're like next to the very end, you know, you want to keep feeding it so that lights, again, that block. And then you got 5 balls
Yeah.
to get to 24.
Yeah.
And believe me, if you couldn't get to 24 with 5 balls, I swear to you, there isn't one person in this whole store that wouldn't laugh their ass off at you. This is the truth, okay?
Yeah.
So you're going to get 24.
Right.
And then, bing, 8 balls next game.
Yep.
Then what we used to do when we got that late, say there had to be like 2 of us because you really would feed it.
Yeah.
Like you'd get a roll of nickels, $2,
Yeah.
and I'd buy a roll of nickels, and we'd go in together.
Yeah.
See, then that means we fed the 2 rolls of nickels in
Wow.
to light up your odds all the way to the end, you know, and to light as many features as you can light.
Possibly could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like select the number and, you know, everything.
Yeah.
And so you'd win the most, you know.
Right.
And, of course, with 2 rolls of nickels
Yeah.
at one time, you know, who in their right mind does that?
Right.
You know, and we'd be in together, me and you.
Yeah.
And, of course, we'd have, at that time when all the nickels are in,
Yeah.
your odds are all the way up.
Right.
You know, you're ready, you got it to the top. And 8 balls next game, you know. And then, of course, if you have the select a feature,
Yeah.
you know, where you could select the number,
Yeah.
or you could select, like, corners,
Right.
you know.
Or special cards or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and special cards. I like them.
They're nice.
Yeah. Only 4 numbers, you know,
And it
on
scores
that.
any
yeah.
2 that you get.
Yeah, any 2, it's a 3 in a line. Yeah. That man that thought of that was good. You know, I always said this. The man that probably thought of this in the beginning, you know, and how to make this,
Yeah.
he probably didn't enjoy any of the millions that they made. He went bonkers, you know, after he thought of this, how to, like you, thinking how to make that every game on one. You know, it's unbelievable. You know, like you could sell that to Bally or somebody, and, you know, but you wouldn't enjoy the money because you'd probably going a little crazy now, you know, figuring all that stuff out. What? Well, sure. I always said it. The man that thought of a bingo pinball, he never enjoyed all the money that he probably made. You know, he went crazy. How could you think of this to make this do this? And then this has to make that work to make this. Why, you know.
Both of those guys were absolute geniuses.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no question.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting to me is that even though they copied features, they were implemented in a different way mechanically.
Yeah.
In the United systems.
Yeah.
You know, up until, you know, towards the very end.
Yeah.
And then they copied that too. But
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Like, for instance, Bally Showtime.
Yeah.
You put a Bally Showtime against
what you're gonna say.
United Playtime.
Yeah.
They're the exact same game. Exact.
Yeah.
Only the name change.
Yep. Down to the wire.
Yeah.
Because I've been through the whole thing.
Yeah. Showtime, Playtime. Yeah.
Isn't that
The
crazy?
exact same thing.
I suspect.
Now, wouldn't you think that Bally would get mad when it's exact like that?
I think that there had to have been a deal because that was United's last game.
Yeah.
So
yes, it was.
I think
Playtime.
Bally finally went after him.
Yeah.
And then they made a deal and said, all right, you
Yeah.
make one more.
Yeah.
And that's it. And
Yeah.
they said, all right, but we're making this game, which I know makes you a lot of money, the Showtime.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we were talking about Showtime,
Oh,
how
yeah.
popular a game that was.
Showtime was a very good game.
So these United games, because I was born in 83.
Yeah.
So the time of the bingos
is over.
Was over at that time. So
the end of 70s.
This is really
78, 79.
all pretty new to me, you know.
Yeah,
and
sure.
so I've just been picking this up by talking with guys like you,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Lawton, Phil Hooper, you know, Dennis Odell,
all nice guys.
absolutely, 201, every single one. But the thing that I don't know is how often did you see a United game on route? Like, would you see them and play them often?
Well, when I was growing up in the city of Pottsville, believe me, there was very few bar rooms and stores where kids hung out.
Sure.
That didn't have a bingo pinball in, and some had 3 and 4 in. Okay? Now, getting to your question, in my opinion, growing up in Pottsville, I'd say you'd find you'd find a United pinball like once in every 4 places that there was the gambling pinballs in. Mm-hmm. I'd say 1 in every 4 you'd find a United in.
One United, or would there be a row of
probably 1.
Wow.
Just 1.
So they were not very popular.
They weren't. No, they weren't near as popular as Bally, but they made money too. I made money.
Well, you just said you dumped 40 nickels into the game.
Well, sure.
Yeah, but then you're probably winning more than 40.
Yeah, yeah. But then a lot of times, you'd like one guy would want to cash in, and no, I want to play it some more.
Sure.
And then, okay, you say, okay, then we'll play it some more, right? And then we lose it all. We didn't care. We played.
Sure.
That was the fun. Kids today, that kid stuff and that, and pills and that. This was a thing that we had fun with. Mm. Not counting the normal stuff.
Sure.
Playing baseball, football, not counting that. This was the fun time. This was the days of real rock and roll, early rock and roll. And the fun times. The best time of my life, anyway, was growing up then and playing the pinballs and that, and like I said, 3 hernias, I carried many a pinball machine. I carried flippers too.
Sure.
But
you can do those standing on your head though.
Yeah, mostly bingos.
Yeah.
Like in my day, and out on the road, I had without adding on, I had 4 or 5 bingos to every 1 flipper. Mm-hmm. I had out on the road. Now, I did have flippers, too. I'd say at one time, the top, we had about 40 flippers, I'd say. Mm-hmm. About 40. And, I really didn't want to... they're okay. To me, they're not as much fun as this. Mm-hmm. But then I grew up with this. People all grew up with the flippers now, that you talk to. My days are gone. My guys are gone. I should be gone, And this, to me, more fun with the bingos than a flipper. Mm-hmm. But I got flippers because some of the locations I had, they asked me for a flipper. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe I had 1 or 2 bingos in there, too.
Sure.
But they had people ask them for a flipper pinball. Yeah. Well, I had to get them. I like you back up against the wall. If right. I didn't get a flipper, you'll get another operator that will.
Yeah.
And if he puts a flipper in, like I am today yet, I don't share no locations. All the machines that are in, they're all mine, or they're someone else's.
Right.
I don't let you have a jukebox in and a pool table.
Yeah.
And I'll keep the bingos in and the dartboards or something like that.
Right.
I have everything in the place, or we don't have nothing.
Yeah.
We don't share with another operator. Now, some guys do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like some guys, well, the one outfit Mike used to work for. That's funny. When, I better not say too many names, but when he left them, and I got a little too big, you could say, that I couldn't handle my job and these I had on the road anymore.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, keep them working and that,
Right.
you could say.
Well, yeah.
And then, you know, of course I taught my Mike, and
Sure.
he's 3 times smarter than I am now, which I wanted that way, right? And Mike worked for another outfit, a big outfit, okay, which I won't name,
Sure.
okay, a big outfit from Hazleton. He used to go back and forth from Pottsville to Hazleton. And Mike, they had no less than 5 mechanics. That's how big they were.
Wow.
With all their machines out on the road. Like I was another pimple on them. You know,
Yeah.
That's how big they were.
Right.
And my Mike worked for them. And he was the only one they had. This is another thing, God's honest truth. Out of the 5 of them, they had at least 5. And he was the only one that could fix the bingos. The other guys couldn't.
Really?
They couldn't. They tried, but they couldn't.
Then he had to come back and clean it up, huh?
Yeah. And usually, like, my Mike had to go, you know, here's another story I could tell you. This one place that they had in Hazleton, they had 4, that's why it says the Dixielands, was the worst ones, in my opinion, they ever made, because you can't keep them working. Well, they had 4 of them at this one store. Now, and it's not my location. Mm-hmm. It was the location of the outfit my Mike worked for, mm-hmm. right before I made him quit them. Mm-hmm. Okay? Well, I asked him to quit it. That's not the right way to say it. You know. And he went there almost every day. Almost. Mike told me this. Almost every day that he worked for these people, he had to go to that one spot. Now, he had other spots.
Sure.
But he had to go there because there was at least... Now, they got played very heavy.
Yeah.
Very heavy.
Well, that's...
Okay?
That was the next
Let's
question.
put that in, too.
Yeah.
And there was at least one Dixieland broke out of them 4 every day. And Mike went there every day that the boss, his boss... Now, you could ask Mike. He'll tell you the name of the store.
Sure.
Okay, what it is.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. But anyhow, Mike went there that much that his boss, the owner of the company, when he'd go to send Mike, he'd call Mike the name of the store. He wouldn't say, Mike, well, he'd have a list for him where to go that's broke. We're talking bingos, only bingos.
Right.
Mike didn't fix anything else. He was too busy keeping them running.
Yeah.
The bread and butter of the man.
Right.
Okay? So Mike said he had a list where to go. And then when Mike came in to work in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, the boss, Gabe, he would call Mike by the name of the store. Just say Lenny's.
Right.
Lenny's store, okay? Yeah. And he'd say... Mike, he'd say, like, Lenny, you got these today, and he'd hand him the paper. Lenny's, along with Lenny's, go there first.
Yeah.
Get their Dixieland fix.
Back up and running.
You know?
Yeah.
And Mike says that in time he had some regular customers make sure they were there, like when they knew Mike was coming in 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Then they'd help Mike carry it out from, you're tight against the wall,
Right.
all bingos, so you don't dill them so easy, right? You didn't have them out like this.
Right.
You had them tight against the wall.
Okay.
And they would be there to help Mike lift up the Dixieland, carry it away from the wall so he could open
Work
it
on
up
it.
and fix it.
Wow.
Yeah. Now imagine that.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's funny.
Imagine that. And then when Mike quit,
Yeah.
okay, that's why I don't want to say the name of the outfit. When Mike quit, they eventually pulled in all their bingos. They didn't have nobody that could fix them.
Wow.
Out of the 5 men they had,
Yeah.
like say this one broke, and then they send you here.
Right.
Well, you tried your best, of course,
Right.
but you couldn't fix it.
Yeah.
So then they took this out, and they put a flipper pinball there.
Oh, wow.
See, that's
Yeah.
what happened.
Huh.
And that was a pretty big stink.
So, I mean,
But my Mike came with me then, and he took care of ours,
right. And do you think that was one of the contributors to places where they could run, not running them anymore? Was not having skilled mechanics
Well,
to keep
let's
them going?
just say they didn't knock them off there in a long while.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I mean,
There was no place really like you could say legal. If they catch you paying out, that was it. And then some parts, like I said, this is crazy. Some parts where we had the bingo pinball, if it took more than 1 nickel, it's illegal.
right.
Then we had to change it to the quarter racks up 5 games. Other parts where we were at, like I don't know if you'd say the county or what, just section, like other parts, if you could go for extra balls, then it was illegal. See, then we had to take the extra balls off. It was craziness. And then all the while the big operators were fighting in Harrisburg.
Yeah.
A flipper pinball, you put more than 1 quarter in.
Sure.
Say 2 players want to play.
2
So
quarters.
that's 2 quarters. That's multiple coin.
Yeah.
Like this. And they said, no. Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. If it's more than 1 coin, it's illegal.
Huh.
Now, say me and you playing a flipper pinball. Say, we're playing like, say, Annabelle. Okay?
Yeah.
And you bet me $5 you can beat me on the score,
Sure.
right? Now that's gambling.
Now, I make that point all the time with people because actually that's becoming more popular now on the flipper games.
Yeah,
People bet each other all the time.
yeah,
And I say, what's the big problem with this?
yeah,
It's just more honest about it.
yeah,
But you can bet on anything,
yeah.
I had a friend tell me one time, you could bet on the outcome of what soda you're going to get from a soda machine.
Oh,
when you
yeah.
push the button, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
It does not matter. So, anyway, I find that amusing.
That's true.
So, what happened?
I had a Coke machine,
Yeah.
one of them big. I guess it was late 40s, early 50s.
Okay.
You didn't see the soda bottle, and it was 6 cents converted to a dime when I bought it. Okay, and it held 12-ounce bottles.
Sure.
Okay, and it was a Coca-Cola machine.
Uh-huh.
But I had it in my clubhouse along, well, I call it my clubhouse. It was the gang's clubhouse.
Right,
It
yeah.
wasn't just mine. And I had my bingo pinballs there, and I had a pool table, and I had a jukebox, and I had one of them bumper pool things where the bumpers are on the pool table.
Yeah,
Like I had
yeah.
one of them. And I had the soda machine. Now, this soda machine, okay, was all red. It was all metal. all the way around.
Sure.
It was a late 40s, very early 50s, okay?
Okay.
Now, why I said this now, when you were saying about you didn't know you were getting,
Right.
we put Coca-Cola in, we put 7-Up in, we put Pepsi in, and different slots. I just put them in.
Yeah.
And then you put the dime in, and you put
got
the
what you
crank
got.
down, and a soda came out. But you didn't know if you were getting Coke, Pepsi, or 7-Up. See? And nobody cared.
Right.
It was in our clubhouse.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. But I mean, there,
But
like
there
you
go.
just said.
You could bet on the outcome.
Yeah.
So, that's funny.
Yeah, that's true.
So, back to United for a minute. So, they weren't very popular. Do you think they probably didn't make as many, obviously, as Bally?
Yeah, probably.
So, it's very hard to find those machines in from what I've seen.
Yes.
And your
Yeah, they
collection
are hard.
is quite a feat.
Yeah.
You know, you've really had to travel for it. How far have you had to go to get machines?
Well, I told you, I went all over the United States. This is in my life now.
Right.
This ain't 1 year.
Sure.
Okay, I went all over the United States, 4 or 5 times to Canada, and I also went to Prince Edward Island to get that Acapulco. That was the last one I needed to own every Bally bingo. Mm-hmm. That was the last one. And that was a son of a gun to get. I'll tell you, I couldn't get that to save my life. And my good buddy Bernie LeBlanc from up in Canada, he found out people that had it in Prince Edward Island. I can't believe that. I went there, and we got it. You know, and there you see it. I lived happily ever after. Never opened it up since it's home. Honest. Well, you could see it's buried there.
Oh, yeah.
Never opened it up yet.
Now, you all can't see this, but I mean, there are so many games just in this one building that we're in, and you have multiple buildings. So
yeah, I'm going to show you.
It's almost impossible for me to describe,
Yeah.
you know, all the parts and games and everything, you know.
That's like I said, in parts, if we don't have it, nobody does. You know, you can see all that stuff.
Well, I'm going to be bugging you a lot then.
Well, if you need something, we have it, you got it. That's it.
So, but yeah, so out of the Uniteds, now that you've got pretty much all of them, do you have a favorite that you like to play? Do you like the 1 1/16 ball games? You know, the early Uniteds, or do you like the later ones better with the carryovers and the 8 balls?
Yeah.
Like Caravan.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say them.
Yeah.
On account of they're like more like a Bally, you know. But what the heck? I like the United that I lost the most money in.
Yeah.
In playing, that is, in growing up, was Pixies.
Yeah.
I lost the most money in that United. So you could say, I guess that one's my favorite. I do like Mexico, too. Mm-hmm. But then, of course, we have Mexico, a Bally, Mexico. And I didn't like that as much as the United Mexico. But anyhow, I played them all. There's probably none that I never played. Now, these 20 numbered ones, I don't like them.
None except for those?
I don't like them. And like Miss Universe with 18 numbers, that's worse than the 20 number. Now, you know, probably somebody listening will say, that guy, he's, you know, whack on that. Well, listen, this would be a hell of a world if everyone liked the same thing.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
Now, you like what you like, and I like what I like. You know, and that's it.
Yeah.
I didn't care for them. And when I was growing up, too, when the 20 numbered ones came out, I'm going to say, in my opinion, and like everybody knows me, I'm playing bingo pinball since I'm 13.
Right.
Okay? I don't think, in my opinion, in the city of Pottsville anywhere, now I don't know anywhere else, but here where I grew up,
Yeah.
I don't think they lasted more than 6 months on location.
Right.
And then the operators took them off and brought back the big time, in Wall Street and them. And nobody liked them, the 20 numbered. Now, my good buddy, John Robinette,
Yes.
he loves the 20 numbered ones. In fact, he bought a few off us, which is amazing. I don't think I played a 20 numbered one 3 times in my day.
Really?
I don't think I did. And when I remember, John, I shouldn't say that, but I'm going to throw it in anyway because I didn't do it. The operator did. When my Mike and me went down to Greenville, South Carolina, an operator down there was getting knocked off like crazy. And he pulled them in, and they're down there, they played them. They liked them. Okay, that's fine.
Right.
And the man's making money like he should.
Good.
Okay? And he was told by the authorities, let's put it that way, that if they would pick one more of his bingo 20 numbered pinballs up, he was going 1 to 5.
Yeah.
And he told me that on the phone.
Yeah.
And of course, that's when he quit with them.
Yeah.
And he brought them all in. Okay? Now, he had, I remember, just big time. I remember one was a big time. He had 4 25 numbered ones. That's all he had left.
Really?
All the rest was 20 numbers.
Holes? Wow.
Yeah, now get this.
Man.
And one of them I didn't have yet.
Okay.
It was the last Bally bingo ever made. They made it after Dixieland. The last one they ever made. Right there it is. I could have sold that 10 times by people coming here and buying machines off me. That you can see, that's a 9 or a 10 on a 1 to 10.
Oh, yeah.
That Malibu Beach. And he had that, and he had 3 just for parts.
Okay.
3 of these other ones.
Okay.
Okay, this was one, a big time. And I told him, I just want to buy that from him.
Right.
Okay, no. He says, I already losing, look at it his way.
Sure.
Right? He said, he's already losing money like crazy.
Right.
Now imagine this. Half of his livelihood, probably,
Right.
by taking every 20 numbered one off of the route.
Yeah.
Okay, the 25 numbers he had ready out. All he had was 20 on the road, right? These 3 of these he had for parts, and then he had that one sitting way back in the corner. I remember that. Oh, we had to move shuffleboards, and we had to move the what I call the grabbers, the crane machines.
Oh, yeah.
And that we had to move so many of them to get at that. That was about this deep in dust, And here he said, you got to buy them all.
Okay.
So Mike and me, we rented the biggest U-Haul box truck that you can rent. Okay, I made sure it was the biggest one.
Right.
When I called the people up, I said, I want the biggest you have. And we went to Greenville, South Carolina, and we put them all in. I don't know how we did it. But he said, you take everything. even extra legs he had, iron ones, no wooden ones. You know, because like I said, it's easier to carry these with the iron legs than the wooden legs.
Back.
Yeah, because the wooden legs are too wide.
Way out.
You know, and if you carried machines in your life, these the way I did, you'd see what I mean. Yeah. You get rid of them wooden ones, okay?
Yeah.
Now everybody wants them.
Right.
Because they came original with them.
Yeah.
Right? But we didn't care about that shit. You know, we put them out the easiest way, you know. So then we bought all them 20s, and we bought 3 25 numbered that was just parts, and then I got that baby. So this is the truth, like I said. I don't know how many there was. We didn't count them, because I didn't even care about them. To be honest with you, I didn't.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't slam them around or anything stupid like that, because these were nice. They just come off the road.
Sure.
You know, they were in nice shape.
Yeah.
And, of course, the man had to take his master lock off every game.
Sure.
And then we taped them up shut so the door, you know. And, of course, we took them all apart, the heads off the cabinets, you know, legs off and all that. I don't know how many, but this is the truth. It was stacked like that far from the roof of the U-Haul box truck.
About an inch and a half.
Yeah, about that far from the roof we were.
Wow.
All the way back to the door, you know, tied against the door. I don't know how many we had in, but we took all of them that he had, and he says, take them extra legs too. I don't want to look at nothing pertaining to bingos, you know. And so, of course, we took all them, which I was happy for later when I did buy some that the people had the pinball, but they had no legs on them. It was sitting on the floor at some places where I went. Don't ask me why, but no, that's how it was. Craziness.
Okay.
Craziness. So we got that, and without adding on, I could have sold that to different people 10 times. Now, I did play it 2 or 3 times. I marked on it there with the paper what's wrong with it. Of course it doesn't work. For Mike to fix it, but we never got at it. Too busy.
Yeah.
You know, like Acapulco there.
Yeah.
We never got at that one. Sun Valley we did, but the one aside of that, what the hell is that?
Can. Or Carnival Queen.
Yeah, Carnival Queen.
Yeah.
Now that one either. We have another one down here, you saw, Carnival Queen. We never even played that one yet. But, you know, we didn't get time to get at it. Boy, oh boy, when you think of time, you know how important that is.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
And
how fast it goes. Eh?
That's the thing that I've noticed just in talking with you just today.
Yeah, I'll talk your head off, I told you.
No. Is that you are a person that likes to be busy.
Oh.
I can tell that.
Well, ask my family. Don't take my word on it. With the bingo pinballs and rock and roll records, you'll fall right over. I'll talk you that much, you know, because I love them. My bingos, my music, my 45s, and of course, well, I have other ones besides horror.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
And that's, you mind taking me around, showing me some more stuff?
Yeah, no, sure.
All right, thanks very much, Butch.
Okay.
I appreciate talking to you.
Okay, buddy. You're quite welcome.
I want to thank Butch for his time. He was extremely generous that day with his time.
Well, that's all for tonight. Thank you very much for listening. My name again is Nick Baldridge. You can reach me at foramusementonlypodcast@gmail.com, or you can call me on the Bingos line, which is 724-BINGOS1, 724-246-4671. You can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Pocket Cast via RSS, on Facebook, on Twitter at Bingo Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram, also at Bingo Podcast, or you can listen to us on our website, which is foramusementonly.libsyn.com. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.